how policies they affect unu pockets. We also get more programs where they come every week. So join me now on 98.5 FM and online at True Talk FM. This na your platform, your economy and your voice on True Talk Radio. Get the facts, get True Talk. Welcome to True Talk Radio, your home for facts, fairness, and fearless conversations about Salone Economy.
We're not just any radio. We're an economic governance radio station where they break down big decisions, policies, and budget in a way where go make sense to you.
For our flagship Sunday show, We Economy, we bring you the real bread and butter issues where they around prices, jobs, taxes, and how policies they affect unu pockets. We also get more programs where they come every week. So join me now on 98.5 FM and online at True Talk FM. This na your platform, your economy and your voice on True Talk Radio. Get the facts, get True Talk. Welcome to True Talk Radio, your home for facts, fairness, and fearless conversations about Salone Economy.
We're not just any radio. We're an economic governance radio station where they break down big decisions, policies, and budget in a way where go make sense to you.
For our flagship Sunday show, We Economy, we bring you the real bread and butter issues where they around prices, jobs, taxes, and how policies they affect unu pockets. We also get more programs where they come every week. So join me now on 98.5 FM and online at True Talk FM. This na your platform, your economy and your voice on True Talk Radio. Get the facts, get True Talk.
Fambude una, good evening. So today again we welcome una to True Talk. We're in 98.5 FM and for can talk about a very important topic today. So today the topic we will talk about now this thing we would call grassroots. Grassroots and the politics of deception. Deception a big word. It means the way they can deceive people by politics. Some people like you feel say when they talk about politics now lie business, but politics actually means it means something different. So normally when they talk about grassroots, not a bad thing, because not to all man able go to parliament, not to all man able go to state house, not to all man they go meet director. All man they do what they go about for do every day. But we get people way for represent you something they go parliament, some they go in a state house. We get people for represent you in them places then they. So ordinary people and can people and they represent them. The one that way they can claim say that they represent them, they call them grassroots. So grassroots politicians that the one that way they can talk say we they represent people them. So na boku country then are fighting down there where they talk say me, then farmer then somebody within a ghetto, you will listen to me. The person way they talk say me they go represent you inside politics. Now fighting because they make you come closer to governance, they make you come closer to decision making. So then I make this topic grassroots politics a very important. If fine for law discuss whether nothing way genuine, the one way they actually talk say me they go represent people in a grassroots inside politics. Is it genuine or na fake than the fake people them? So today we can get this big discussion. In fact, a lot of people in the talk say inside Salone, largely when they say grassroots politics, they may represent people and well, now fake than they fake them. So and normally what they can do, they can set one person up against the other. So then they set one group up against the other. So instead of them really build coalition, like for example, somebody go in a APC than they did in a SLPP. But we can out to the thing that way the money people them, the money the poor, not for set people against the other. It's how they all come together for represent people them well. So what thing they can talk about? They talk about what you call the poverty of ambition. Waiting at the poverty of ambition. That means say, you not for aspire for be good. You not for aspire for be good person. So over time, the educated elites them, then they know they really aspire, they know they do well for support people. So tonight we get Professor Jimmy Kande. Professor Jimmy Kande don't take 40 years inside academia. So he don't represent Sierra Leone 40 years now inside politics, inside academia from the University of Michigan. So today we hear from him extensively, and I know saying somebody we good for all listen to, and we get forget live focus group discussions inside so they discuss with people and both na McKinney, na Kenima, and Yana Freetom. So this is not the first time we get live focus group discussions on the same thing what they call grassroots. So family, the first question I asked Professor Jimmy Kande, whether this way we don't describe grassroots, whether na fighting they would don't describe grassroots or not so fighting at all, whether we'll get it right. So let's listen back to Professor Jimmy Kande.
Approach a little differently, but also kind of agree on most of the points that we raised initially, given the quality of representation of the grassroots. But I think we therefore separate two things: representation of grassroots and waiting at grassroots interests, waiting at the needs, and waiting at the aspirations. But I think first and foremost, we therefore identify what we mean by grassroots. Because grassroots not so a monolithic category. In all united, they all not be the same. The vendor not to the farmer, the bike rider not to the factory worker. They all get different interests, and then solidarity don't become fragmented because of the politics, especially the politics of the elites there. But first of all, who are the grassroots? The grassroots there, as my old points out, now what you go call, they occupy a subordinate category in a hierarchy. They're not to the elites. They form the majority. Waiting define them now a life of relative deprivation, a life of subordination, a life in which way they don't marginalize them. And it's difficult for themselves come up with their own authentic, genuine leadership among themselves. So what I think it often happens historically, and even in real situation, is for leaders then for come outside of their group here and claim for say, then they represent their interest. That don't often happen. You don't get social revolution then. We pretty much champion the interest of grassroots, but now other leader them, not so people them from among the grassroots they lead them. Social revolution like Cuba. I know they look at Cuba as an example of what you forbid, except in the medical sector. But what they say they're able to mobilize the interest of the majority of the people that we've been deprived. They're able to translate that into a social revolution. So most grassroots leaders can start off as community organizers, and most oftentimes they become from outside of the grassroots itself. So therefore define who then belong to the group of grassroots, and also recognize their interests, they're not to the same. The vendor, if you pursue interest policy the way beneficial to vendor them, it not necessarily get for any impact on the poor farmer like Kailan or Pujeon. The interest different. So how you go get leader them, we go bring their interests there together, let them converge, let the people the way belong to the grassroots themselves realize their common interest supersede or beat past their own different interests there, and that's very difficult.
Thank you very much, Prof. I think Sidandi very clear. So you talk about how grassroots leaders can actually manipulate people them. So for let somebody talk say me team up for Southerners then, me team up for Northerners. I see they talk say not to na boku groups then within the form grassroots. So you can be farmers, you can be auto mechanics, you can be drivers then. all can form then grassroots movement then. So you know, go talk say me just they represent the South, or me na Southeast, me they represent na Sierra Leone, so they talk to me they represent the North. Where you get farmer then at the North, you get farmer then at the South. So that way, the way they bring they all together, where they represent the interest, because the interest of an Okada rider na Freetown, na the same interest of an Okada rider na McKinney, and the same interest of an Okada rider na Bow. So, Prof, you very right when you talk about that one. Then. So, but they see a lot of manipulation because people like you just want, let I just get this group here because I want for let I win election. Or I want for let I get this contract here. So they make like say me get supporters and support groups. So we see say grassroots are being manipulated. So we don't see over time now some confucionists no more, somebody where can just set confusion either in a community or on social media. Their voice don't become so powerful past sometimes the former APC minister themselves. Some confucionists then are SLPP, their voice don't become so powerful past current ministers then, city ministers then. So that's how grassroots power don't come over time. We don't see sometime then they will see the minister, the how do you call them, the president, then you go on and say you know the chief you know the chief driver. So in fact sometimes somebody they tell me one time, he said sometimes you get for reach a point in time pass you be Okada rider before you turn the minister of transport. But you get one writer where they call John Stuart Mills. Stuart Mills is very clear. He say if you not get independent means, you know they get independent voice. So with all of this, what do they talk? If Sierra Leoneans they're not strong, they're not able for get the independence means, they're not able for fend for themselves, people will go just manipulate you because you're not going to ever be strong for yourself. So then I want to go back to Prof. I want to ask Prof the question. With all written in the top of grassroots, I see you mentioned Cuba. How grassroots politics different elsewhere from the way they happen at Salon? I just want to listen to Prof. but small about how grassroots politics different from elsewhere.
They don't hijack the very notion of what constitutes grassroots leadership and put that in the grassroots the way they represent. Because most of the so-called grassroots leaders there, you look at people, now their own interests they pursue and promote on the backs of the people where they suffer. Even within their own party, then they hope for catapults themselves to power and position of prominence by riding the backs of ordinary people where they suffer in the country. So they are not grassroots leaders. They pretend to be grassroots leaders. And they want to get representation. It's not only within the parties, even when it comes to land issues. You hear about community land. When I grow up, I never hear about that. And most of them community land they are so-called grassroots leaders them. Now they end up for take over their land and make them their own personal property. So it's just another avenue for pursuing, personal interests. These are not authentic grassroots leaders because they're not ever grassroots leaders. Then they begin in a way where they organize people them across some of the divisions them where they divide with. And most of them so-called grassroots leaders there, you find out they mobilize on the basis of ethnicity. They're not really mobilized on the basis of interest there. We cut across grassroots. And that's what grassroots leaders must do. They mobilize on the basis of needs and interests where they cut across, whether you're a vendor, whether you're a poor farmer, whether you're the military